Welcome to What Are Red and Blue in Organic Intelligence? I'm Dr. Bok Ho. You may encounter the words red and blue in organic intelligence. Here I present different meanings they may have. Here we go to the slide. Oh God, I don't want to do this one. Here we go. The notes will be on Substack. The title, What Are Red and Blue in Organic Intelligence? One meaning, number one, feeling bad and feeling good or better. Number two, same as one, but blue distinguished from orientation. Number three, negativity and positivity. Number four, dislikes and likes. Number five, harms and benefits. Number six, intensification and de-intensification. Number seven, what is disorganizing and organizing? Starting with number one, red and blue as feeling bad and feeling good or better. Red here refers to any feeling bad, and blue to any feeling good or better, including less bad. Someone has a lot of suffering, anxiety, depression, unpleasant stress, hopelessness, panic attacks, nightmares, all they're feeling bad, all this, that's red. When you feel better, when you feel pleasure or well or less bad, that's blue. Sometimes feeling better comes automatically. Blue comes automatically. You're stressed, red. The stress automatically settles as time passes. You feel better, blue. And feeling better can come from things you do. Exercise, food, music, talking to a friend, therapist, or other support. And from things that happen to you. Someone pays you a compliment and you feel good. Red and blue can come automatically and from a zillion things that you do and that happen to you. You could use red and blue to refer to things in your life that make you feel bad and better, or the negative and positive things in your life. My job is a big red in my life. It's super stressful. Yoga is a big blue in my life. It reduces my stress. This has value. And precisely speaking, red and blue are feeling bad and better, both of which can occur when you're doing something you generally regard as a red or blue, or as a negative or positive thing in your life. There may be moments of pleasure or feeling better at work, blue moments. Now, say you're unpleasantly stressed after work, red. You're going to go to yoga. The drive is unpleasantly stressful, the drive to yoga. It makes you feel worse, that's red. You arrive at the strip mall where yoga is, and it's hard to find parking. You find it unpleasantly stressful, more red. During yoga, there's feeling better, especially during certain poses or movements, say. Others, not so much. And when you look at people who are more attractive than you, it gives you both pain and pleasure, red and blue. Figuring out how to get blue while minimizing red is a worthy goal. So that's number one, red and blue as feeling bad and feeling good or better. Number two, same as number one, but blue is distinguished from orientation here. Red here is feeling bad, just as in number one. Blue in number one is any feeling good or better, including through orientation, which is the most important way to feel good or better. Orientation enables you to feel good or better without swings to feeling bad or worse. Here in number two, blue refers to feeling good or better from pleasure, where pleasure is distinguished from orientation. Orientation is a neutral experience, and neutral here is distinguished from pleasure, from blue. Feeling better can come from blue, pleasure. Feeling better can come from orientation, neutral. So here in number two, you're stressed and you pursue a pleasure to feel better. You hang out with friends and it's pleasurable. You were red and moved to blue. Alternatively, you're stressed and you practice orientation to feel better. You look around your room or go outside and look around, or maybe take a walk and take in sights and sounds. That's red to orientation, or red to neutral, not to blue. Orientation is the preferred way over blue to feel better. Stability in orientation enables you to feel pleasure without swinging to pain, to feel blue without swinging to red. Now, some people who know a bit about organic intelligence might here ask questions about the exact nature of orientation and how exactly it differs from pleasure. For example, questions: if you have to practice or effort at orientation, does that really count as orientation? Isn't orientation, strictly speaking, supposed to be effortless? And if it's efforted, does that mean it's pursuing a blue, just as efforting to think positive or go to the gym or reach out to social support when you don't want to counts as pursuing a blue? And if you're practicing orientation while walking, doesn't the walking count as pursuing a pleasure, a blue? And if you're hanging out with friends, isn't that orientation because you're connecting to the environment, which includes your friends? Isn't social engagement a form of orientation according to organic intelligence? So what exactly counts as orientation and what exactly counts as a blue, where blue is understood as distinct from orientation? I'm not going to answer those questions here. The important point is that there's a fundamental difference between orientation and pleasure, even if there's overlap, and orientation is fundamental to enabling blue without swinging to red. Pursuing blue without orientation is not sustainable and keeps you swinging between red and blue. You want to practice orientation and blue, with orientation being primary. So in organic intelligence, when you encounter people saying blue and you gather they're using it to mean feeling good or better, they may be including orientation under blue, as in number one, or they may distinguish it from blue, as here in number two. That's number two. Red is feeling bad and blue is feeling good or better, but distinguished from orientation. Now to number three, red and blue as negativity and positivity. Negativity refers to attention being on what's negative, going wrong, problems, bad news. Positivity refers to attention being on what's positive, going right or well, good news. We're trying to reduce attentional fixation on what's wrong. what organic intelligence calls the what's wrong attention. Also, organic intelligence's term for the negativity bias. We're trying to reduce this not primarily by using willpower to be positive, but through orientation and pleasure. The greater the stability in orientation and pleasure, the greater your ability to survive, even in the most inhumane conditions, because what's wrong doesn't hostage your attention unproductively. You have attentional freedom to productively plan how to escape your kidnappers and torturers. And during moments you're stuck and already have a plan in place for when the time is right, you're more likely able to enjoy the company of your fellow prisoners, recharging yourself and others for when the time is right. In addition to reducing the negativity bias, we're also looking for both what's negative and what's positive to be in oscillation with each other and organically, not a consciously imposed process of identifying what's negative and positive, but an organic process of oscillation. For example, you had a first date with a guy and you're talking about it with your friends. I really like him, but it's not going to work out. Nothing ever works out for me. But maybe I'll at least reach out and ask him for a second date. But I know he's going to hurt me eventually. But he's really nice and made me laugh. Organic oscillation between negative and positive thoughts. I'll also mention neutral ones, but to simplify, mention that there are neutral ones, but to simplify, I'll stick with negative and positive. Oscillation can be a sign that your biology is going through excitation and relaxation cycles that trend towards capacity growth, which is our focus. We're not focusing on trying to get or eliminate thoughts, eliminate negative thoughts, get positive ones, or aim at 50-50, and every other thought should be positive and every other one should be negative. We're focusing on capacity growth, and a sign of trending towards growth is organic oscillation between negative and positive thoughts. Fixation on what's negative or positive is a sign that intensity can't modulate towards capacity growth. For people who are fixated on what's negative, orientation and pleasure enable emergence of positivity and organic oscillation. For people who are fixated on what's positive, orientation and pleasure reduce unpleasant intensity around what's negative, enabling it to emerge and organically oscillate. That's number 3, red and blue as negativity and positivity. Number 4, red and blue as dislikes and likes. Reds are things you dislike, blues are things you like. You taste 30 ice cream flavors and identify the ones you like and the ones you dislike. Which ones you like or dislike slightly more than other ones? Which is your favorite? Second favorite? Which is your least favorite? You're identifying your dislikes and likes, reds and blues. I like mint chip. I don't like lemon ice cream. The distinction between red and blue here is the distinction between what you dislike and like. There are other related distinctions which could be added to this list of meanings of red and blue, but which I'm not including as part of the official list because I don't want to get too fine-grained. Two distinctions include first, red and blue as what you don't want and want. I don't want lemon ice cream. I want mint chip. A second, red and blue as what you avoid and approach. Don't try to spoon me that lemon ice cream. I'm going to get a scoop of mint chip. Dislike and like overlaps in life with don't want and avoid and approach or pursue and approach, as well as with pain and pleasure, as in number one. Discovering and identifying what you dislike and like is good. It helps you pursue pleasure, figure out your desires, values, goals, what you want to do with your life. Some people have little to no sense of what they dislike or like, of what they don't want or want. Do you want to stay at the party a while longer or leave now? No idea. No sense. Some people know what they don't want. I don't want my symptoms, my suffering, anxiety, depression, brain fog, migraines, etc., but not what they want. Suppose all your symptoms resolve. What then? What do you want to do with your life? I don't know. The more orientation and pleasure, the more you can feel and identify likes and dislikes, wants and don't wants. And the more you can like what you used to dislike. For example, feeling sad, irritation, feeling nothing, say, have almost always been unpleasant to you and you dislike it, don't want it, avoid it. With more orientation and pleasure, it can be enjoyable to feel sad, like being touched by a sad music piece, to feel a pleasant, productive energy in irritation, to feel respite in feeling nothing. That's number four, red and blue as dislikes and likes. Number five, red and blue as harms and benefits. Red and blue refer to what is bad and good for you, your well-being. Drugs, alcohol, sugar, and abusers are reds, at least in certain quantities. Even if you like them, want them, pursue them, and they give you pleasure. Nutrients, physical movement, touch, people treating you well and complimenting you are blues. Even if you dislike these things, don't want them, avoid them, and they pain you. More precisely, for some of these things, they are good for you if you have the capacity to intake them. If getting compliments sends you into painful shame, then compliments are not good for you or blue for you yet. But they're blues in the sense of being good for you, assuming you're able to intake them. And it's good for you to get to a point where you can intake them. There can also be blues in things that may be overall red or net red. For example, pleasure from your net red addictions. Enjoying the pleasure instead of shaming yourself can be important for lowering intensity around addiction, moving you closer to orientation. The more orientation, the more attentional freedom and choice. That's number five, red and blue as harms and benefits. Number six, red and blue as intensification and de-intensification, or excitation and relaxation, arousal and de-arousal, activation and deactivation, action and rest, up and down. A friend tells a joke you find funny and you laugh. That's intensification. The laughing naturally completes and you settle down pleasantly. That's de-intensification. Most people who are seeking support, healing, growth are suffering, which means intensity is too high to process comfortably. So there's an emphasis on blue, at least at first, on de-intensification. Dial down intensity when possible, notice and lean into pleasurable relaxation and orientation. That's number 6. Red and blue as intensification and de-intensification. Number 7, red and blue as what is organizing and disorganizing. The reverse. Red and blue as what is disorganizing and organizing. Here, I assume familiarity with the concept of auto-organization in organic intelligence. What is organizing is what moves you towards auto-organization. What is disorganizing is what does not move you towards auto-organization. Maybe there's a distinction between what moves you even further away from auto-organization versus what does not move you further away from, but also does not move you toward auto-organization. So maybe there's a distinction between what's non-organizing versus disorganizing, where the latter means moving further away from, but I'm not going to get that fine-grained here. What's organizing is orientation and pleasure, which involves identifying likes, aligning them with what benefits you, and involves, for many and at first, more emphasis on de-intensification. What's disorganizing is anything away from orientation and pleasure. At a more technical level and more relevant to session work than do-it-yourself organic intelligence, particular isoma, here I assume familiarity with isoma in organic intelligence. Particular isoma are identified as red and blue as not moving and moving one in the direction of auto-organization. Blues are organic support that arise in isoma. Isoma are also identified as red and blue in the sense of intensifying and de-intensifying as negative and positive. And this is done in the context of looking for oscillation between intensification and de-intensification, between positivity and negativity, which oscillation is a sign of movement towards auto-organization. Thank you.